Your voice, your vote 2024. You just watched the first presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Thanks for joining us. I'm John DeLuca.
And I'm Tiffany Murphy. We're getting instant analysis right now and reaction from our ABC6 political analyst, Providence College political science professor, Dr. Adam Myers. He joins us now live. Professor Myers, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. You saw what the world just saw tonight. Who do you believe, in your opinion, won tonight?
I think it was a draw because I think both candidates performed reasonably well. If anything, I guess I would say that Harris maybe did a little bit better, in large part because she had the most to gain and the most to lose because many Americans didn't know much about her. And I think she performed competently. And by doing so, she reassured some folks, perhaps some swing voters that could decide a few key states. But in general, I don't think this debate moved the needle all that much.
Well, that kind of leads me into my next question. Let's pretend for a moment, Professor, that you are an undecided voter and you watched carefully tonight. Did you hear anything maybe that swung you? Now, again, you're an undecided voter and you're hearing this and you're looking for certain topics. Maybe it's immigration, maybe it's the economy, maybe it's inflation. Anything that would sway you tonight?
Well, I think if I'm an undecided voter, first of all, I know who Donald Trump is, right? He was our president for 4 years. He's already run for president twice. I know who he is. I know what he's about. And chances are I've already made up my mind about him. But Vice President Harris, I probably don't know as well. And, you know, I've heard from Republicans that she's a radical, that she's one of the furthest left presidential candidates in American history. And, you know, what I think I saw from the debate is an effort on her part to sound like a moderate, to sound like sort of a middle-of-the-road politician who cares about our military, cares about the middle class, cares about, the immigration-related concerns of a lot of Americans. And so I think probably if I'm a swing voter who hasn't made up his mind, I would be reassured by that.
How effective do you think Donald Trump was at blaming Kamala Harris for the current problems we see in this country? Again, the economy, inflation, immigration.
Yes, that was his repeated message over and over again. He tried to pin all of the things that Americans don't like about the current administration on her. And of course, her response, which she made clear in particular at the end of the debate, is, "I'm not Joe Biden." I'm not sure how effective that was because obviously she's the number two, was the number two, and is the number two in the Biden administration. And the question really, I think, among undecided voters is going to be, would a Kamala Harris administration really be tantamount to turning the page as she seems to want them to believe? Trump's argument is that 4 years of Kamala Harris would be 4 years of more of the same.
All right, before we let you go tonight, Professor, do you expect to see any more debates between these two between now and November 5th?
I don't, because they haven't agreed to any others, and at this late date, I find it hard to believe that the campaigns are going to come to an agreement about when that debate should be, what its structure should be, and so forth. So I don't know. I'm not in the prediction business, but I find it hard to believe that we'll see these two candidates on the debate stage again.
And one last thing, quickly, yes or no? Do you expect Mr. Trump and Mr. Vance to pounce on Harris for her not explaining her switch on policy decisions?
Yeah, they're going to continue to pounce on that. And I think she's just going to continue to say what she's been saying, which is, my values haven't changed. And I guess the Harris campaign's polls indicate that that's a pretty good deflection on her part. And we will have to wait and see whether the American people are convinced by that line.
All right. We'll end it there. Thank you so much, Professor. Appreciate your insight. We'll see you again on November 5th. Take care.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.